I'll tell you, the very first time I advertised, it was a little magazine called Action Sports Retailer, and I was in the second issue of it. And I'd seen the first issue and thought that's my market. And I went to buy, down to the magazine's office, and was talking about buying an ad, and the guy says, yeah, it's $1,500 a full page, but if you buy 2 pages, you can get it for 1,000 each. And I went, you got to be kidding! We haven't even shipped any product yet. And the ad salesman said, just really straight face, he said, Brian, it's not how big you are, it's how big you are perceived to be that counts, And anyway, he talked us into doing a full page ad before we'd even started, And, that was right back when we'd already hit that 28 pair thing, and this was the following season. And from then on, I decided that, everything we do, I'm going to make it bigger than we are, and I want people to perceive that it's better than we are. And then by doing that, then we had to follow through and back it up. So when we advertised really good product, we had to make sure that all the product matched the advertisements that we'd run and the quality. The trade shows were always bigger than we were. And the perception is really, really a valuable part of every brand. And it was by putting out this, the image that was as best, even better than we could probably do, but then having to back it up. That's where the product development came through, the quality came through, the marketing materials came through, the customer service came through. And all of those things are critical to building a brand. If any one of those falls through, the brand loses its momentum and probably dies.
So you forced yourself to be better than you had to be.
Yeah, we're always chasing the image we portrayed.
So let's talk about branding for a second, because this will take us right into your book. Branding is something that's a word that's thrown out there very vaguely in today's kind of like entrepreneurial world.
Right.
And it seems that obviously with more mature brands like yours that have been around long enough, there's a trend, there's a history. Can you tell us, for you, what is it that constitutes a brand? Like, when does a kind of a business become a brand? Is there kind of a differentiator for yourself?
Yeah, most people think it's the logo, but the logo is really such a tiny part of it. For instance, if some kid in Seattle created the swoosh for his skateboard brand and then tried it for a couple of years and it didn't work out and then the business died, nobody would know what that swoosh was today, right? But Nike's swoosh is the result of billions of dollars of advertising, perfect execution. Their product has always been good. It's quality. It's getting into niches and creating a following within niches that supports their brand. And the same goes for, all of the biggest, best companies out there, from FedEx, who follow through with overnight shipping, absolutely positively has to be there. That was one of the best advertising, marketing campaigns and branding campaigns that I've ever seen. And, Home Depot, McDonald's, you always know what you're going to get when you walk into a McDonald's. You may not like it, you may love it, but you always know exactly what's going to be there. And that's what a good brand is, when the consumers know instinctively what they're going to get when they buy it. And it takes a long, long time to build that credibility.
So what would you recommend people do today? Because obviously many people believe they have a brand when they really only have a product, right? Because it's not as widely accepted.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit, you can use, I guess, maybe anything from your book, to how should people look at branding in the earlier stages of infancy?
The branding will come from customer service. And you can imagine how many knockoffs of sheepskin boots that I had to endure over the course of 15, 17 years. And there was a time when I almost lost the business because one of my, there was a death within the group of investors that we had that stalled me on getting production ready, and my manufacturer bailed on me and went to with a different distributor. And as desperate as that year was for me, 6 months of unknowns and scrambling for other production, even though I came through with lesser quality product in the 11th hour, all of my customers refused to buy the knockoff boots because they were so loyal to me and the little UGG brand that I'd built that I survived. And that, when I look back on the 17 years that I ran the business, it was the customer service and the loyalty that was what the brand stood for. And the product was secondary to that. So I think that answers your question. And I really bring a lot of that into the book on how to service the customers so that you do build this incredible loyal following. And that really turns out to be what that was the business I sold. It was the brand and the value of the loyalty of all of my customer base is what was the value when I sold the company.